Now, if you're 4 or above, you have now found your way onto the aged racehorse list. So our aged racehorse list just got a lot bigger. Absolute Euphoria was actually sold back to her breeders. So she will be, I believe they said, joining the Steve Carter barn in Southern Ohio. So good luck to everybody with her. Brace for Landing is back in now. Kathy is taking care of Brace for Landing. So I haven't seen him myself. You might say, well, how can't you see him? You've been in the barn. Well, we trained 45 horses today. I didn't get a chance to see Brace. This is the way it is. Carter Michael Dio was good in his last start. I could see some improvements coming from this guy. His class is written back for Thursday, so we'll see if he gets in this week. Collector raced good on Thursday. A little green on the front end. I think there's a ton of improvement there for Collector. We'll see how he is over the next little while. Crantini will race next week also. Excited to watch him. Excited to race him. I don't know which day he'll be in, Thursday or Friday. We'll see. Five Fish Species, another filly that has gone to the breeding shed. She is now in the care of Jeff Ruck and Steve Palermo. I know there's one client, I believe, stayed involved, Michael. So he'll stay involved with Five Fish Species. I believe the plan is to breed her to... I don't know. I can't remember. But she has now joined Steve and Jeff at their barn. Irish Ray qualified the other day, probably looking for another qualifier from him, so that'll be another little bit of work for Jason this week. Kenobi raced great the other day. I suspect he'll duplicate that this week. The horse is coming in razor sharp and feeling good. Park Slope is also going to be bred. I know who she's going to be bred to. She's going to be bred to Tactical Landing. So excited about that. Park Slope, if you guys, I don't know how much time I spent talking to you about Park Slope, but Park Slope is out of a sister to Kings County. And very, very interesting pedigree with Park Slope. Steve had picked her up. Actually, I was able to buy in for a piece of her, which I thought was neat. I like the family. I watch it every single year. All the different limbs of that family tree I watch, and intrigued and happy to get involved with her. So we're going to breed her to Tactical Landing. Who do we get next? Spitfire Overseas will race tomorrow. Had the 9-hole. The rail kind of sucks. I'd like 4 or 5 if you don't mind. He's got the rail this week. We'll see how that plays out, but he was closing hard on the end of it the other day. I was happy with him. Stay Specials qualifiers have been good. They put a hood on her the other day, ear hood with earplugs. She's a little flat, little blah, but that's expected when you do that. So James was happy that he got 2 qualifiers into her. She'll hopefully race on Friday. If we don't get to race her on Friday, then I guess we'll have to move her somewhere. When did she buy? She's a New York bred. Maybe Yonkers, maybe Megan. I don't know. Anyway, I hope the maiden fillies goes this week at Mohawk. Steel Cowboys training down right now. Just trying to give them all the time to get strong and get back in the swing of things. Hopefully we'll have a better colt. I mean, he did win in 52. He showed some speed, but this is By the Missiles, brother. I just expect a little bit more from him. And hopefully he can show it. We gave him the time. We did everything we can do for By the Missile. Let's see if it pays off in 2024. Tactical Mounds will be coming back in another week or so. We're going to bring her back to Northfield. Once we get trained her a little heavier, she'll be shipped out to Megan. You won't see her race in Ohio at all. I believe I talked to the connections of her Rick the other day quite a bit, and the way he set it on the schedule, her schedule, it looks like she has about 17, 18 races, which sounds about right. When you factor in tighteners, qualifiers, schoolers, you're looking at somewhere between 25 and 30 starts, which would be right up the alley for Tactical Mounds. So she'll be back this year. Tech Song Soprano will be heading to Yonkers after this week. They open on the 22nd. This guy, it's the 13th. He races on the 14th, so it'll be 9 days. So Tech Song Soprano ready to roll and ready to go to Yonkers for Megan. Wallop put a good 100 pounds on, minimum. Jacob did a tremendous job feeding this animal. He looks very, very good. Now, is he still a fractious and rude sometimes? Yeah, maybe. But I'm expecting a pretty good 2024 from this guy. He's got a lot to offer. Let's see what he can do. But Wallop looks great since he come back in. Walter's Keepsake, third last night. I thought he was, Jason had him in a great place. I thought he was a little flat finishing up, but he is coming back on 5 days notice this week on Wednesday. So we'll see how flat he is on Wednesday. I suspect he'll be fine come Wednesday. What a Mission will be qualifying again this week. I never really thought we would get into a position where we'd have trouble getting this guy off the list. But that's where we're at right now. A lot of weight on Jason Merriman's shoulders to get him qualified this week. I can't qualify the horse. We'll see how that plays out. But for right now, what a mission. Need to get him qualified. He trained good today. Jason trained him, said he trained great. Greatest Ending is over at Tim's right now. Got to get that liver count down on this guy and under control. It's just one of those places where I'm kind of torn right now. I was in, the GGT was high. He was tying up. It's the winter time. I was half tempted to just say, you know what, I'm just going to turn this guy out for a couple of months and reset. But I don't really want to do that. So we'll give him the week. We'll work on him this week. Tim's going to work on him this week. We'll see what his GGT looks like. If it isn't dramatically dropped and it isn't in a position where we can race him, then I might just turn him out, but I don't think it'll come to that. The one thing I would like to remind everybody, including my partners on this horse, is he's not going anywhere. He's a 5-year-old, right? So still lots of racing for this horse, tons and tons of racing. There's no need to rush into anything. Let's just make sure he's right. A horse of his caliber, with his talent, can do anywhere, but not if we race him when he shouldn't be racing. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at with Greatest Ending. JK Victory's out in the field. We'll bring him back, I guess, end of January. We'll bring him back in. Looks like Money's still been in 15. Harry's just taking his time. I figured he would. That's fine. I want to make sure that he's good and strong and ready to go when we go to race him. Renegade Gypsy races Monday night at Miami Valley. So happy to see him back in the swing of things. He raced pretty good last week. Resolute Bay was great at the Meadows. He is back in only because the class he fit was the 10,000 class, but he dropped money off that he made at Mohawk. Now he's back in 6 days, which I'm not that worried about in this case. He's down in the 7,800 class, so it was either race him there or wait a week from Wednesday to race him. We just opted for racing him this Wednesday. I don't mind that plan, and it looks like he's in a good spot. Serious Dragon is back going now, so I got to take the stall rest notation off his name. He's been good. 3-point blue chip. Somebody said, well, we've been in 2-9 3 weeks ago. This is a horse that still is going to have to race in tough competition. So I'm certainly not going to tell Julie and Andy Miller what to do with the horse. He'll be ready when he's ready, and that's pretty much where we're at with him. He's close, I can tell you that. Unbeatable Kemp was great the other day. We're going to give him next week off. I'll explain why later, but we're going to give him next week off and race him the following week. I think he gets to drop in much cheaper at that point. Yo Mister is back now at Harry. Not back. He is at Harry Polton's Burn in Ontario, jogging. Good as him is racing next week. He's qualified good again on Friday. I was happy with his qualifier. Locatelli is in Monday. Not happy that he's in with Tiger, but they can't fill any classes apparently at Mohawk. The Open, the Preferred is one, and then the Nommers at 15,000, which they both have more than 15,000 made last 5, so they have to go in the Preferred. A little frustrating, the 28,000 class didn't fill, the 24, the 22, the 21's Nommers at 5, but you have to stay in the Preferred this week. Very frustrating. No free lunch. A huge update here from No Free Lunch. The track has been really soft and at Stacy's farm, and they weren't able to get him trained this week, so she opted to send the horse to Tim. She said, I'm sure the Meadows would be in much better shape than a farm track. And you know what? Kudos to Stacy. She could have just taken her time and said, I'll train him next week when it's going to be really cold. She said no, to keep him in a schedule he should be at a place like the Meadows. So No Free Lunch is sitting at Tim's right now training. He's been in 2.8 in the jog cart, ready to drive on, so I suspect they'll train him up a little bit next week, maybe Wednesday. It's going to be bitter cold, and then the following week it's going to thaw again, so I would say Wednesday, Saturday, and then we'll have a real good idea of where No Free Lunch is, but close, very, very close to being ready to go. And the hiccups were the track being soft. Both Stacy and the vet knew that training him on a soft track probably wasn't the way to go, and I truly appreciate her looking out for the horse, because if she had just trained him and said, I'm sure he'll be fine, we may be having a very, very different conversation right now. Oakwood Cowboy had been in 215 the other day when I was home, so I suspect they've been in 210, 212 with him. He's getting very close to being ready to go. Stay Close. Yeah, he was 7th in the Open. He's beat a neck for 5th. He wasn't on his best. He wasn't at the top of his game the other day, but a lot could go into that. We'll see how he races next week. Let's not get too concerned with this week. Let's see how he races next week. Kings County trained today, trained very good, trained at 58 at the Meadows. So he's got a schooler, 2 training trips. No, he's got 2 training trips, 2 qualifiers, and now he's going to be in to go next week. I'm happy and interested to see how this is going to play out with Kings County. White Tiger is in the preferred. Unfortunately, he has to race against Locatelli, but he's in the preferred on Monday. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that I don't want our horses racing together. They're in on Monday. Delicious Stone raced pretty good. We'll just throw him back in the amateurs for now and get him going forward. Anytime he's advancing now, yeah, he didn't pass anybody down the lane the other day, but he did go kind of a tough trip first over at the quarter pole. We'll see how he races this week. He's knocking on the door. He'll get there one of these days. Miss Rockadelli, I actually have to call Mr. Esposito. So a little bit of mucus, a little bit of blood, and we drew blood on her on this morning. I believe you're probably going to see a little bit of an AST there also. So a lot going on with Miss Rockadelli last night. A little disappointing that race, but we'll see how she races next week. Patrick the Piranha entered him this week, didn't get in. Enter him again this week. We'll see if he gets in and hopefully go from there. So those are your aged horses. We got your aged horses. We get the 3-year-olds. We get all the 2-year-olds. I had marked and graded all the 2-year-olds off of the sets for this week. Now, of course, there were some horses missing. Arrowhead Hanover. This horse was castrated. I really like this horse. He's jogging. I'll go through if I missed any really quick. Arrowhead Hanover, top billing for him. I like this colt a lot. Baby Zet's been coughing. I think it's almost a little allergy thing too. I really want to look into this a little deeper. Quite a bit of coughing as she goes on the track. I'm going to ask Dr. Latessa to get to the bottom of that Monday morning. So we didn't go with her today. Cadu was also castrated, so he missed out today also. I'll talk about the Ontario horses. Chicago Hall's an A+. The horse just blasted them the other day when I was there. I thought he looked great. Cleveland Mash is doing her work well. So again, furthermore to that yearling video, 2-year-old video, these are some other horses. Cleveland Masha, we'll give her an A-. She's been doing her work well. Gaslight Hall, we'll give him a B. He's got some work to do, but he looks good. Grand Old Chap, I can't mark this horse. We're working on him, don't worry. Who else do we have here? There's a few that didn't go today. My Wicked Heart, we'll give her a B. She's got a lot of work to do, but gated up nicely and looks great on the track in Ontario. Officer Soldier Boy, I don't know much about him. I'm going to give him a B-, only because I saw him make that break at the wire the other day, but he's got a decent gait. I like him. That can't be it. There's got to be a couple more. Trevino on Green, I liked him. I got to give him a B, though. It's straight in line with what we had talked about with the other horses. He did make a break the other day, so I'm going to give him actually a B+. Westland Warrior is one of our best horses. We just castrated him because he was being rude. Starting to be a little rude in the barn, so we castrated him. He'll be back this week. What a Lady, What a Night. I don't know much about them other than they're going nicely in Illinois. Woodmere Betcha looked great the other day training too. Very happy with Woodmere Betcha. I think I missed a couple here. The other Illinois bred too. Allie's Got Grit. Same thing, going nicely. So with that, I'll let you go. Just have the opening. I'm going to talk about some horses. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll do the opening. I'll talk to you later.